All right, happy Sunday to everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Another installment of college football straight up. We'll talk about a couple things. Um, SEC Media Days just wrapped up, and the running back who I refer to as DGG, who just committed to the University of Tennessee, big deal. Talk about a couple of those things. Um, and share my opinions on those. First of all, SEC Media Days. I have never really been a big fan of SEC Media Days. A bunch of coaches get up there. Yeah, we filled this hole. We think we got this. We replaced this coach. We've done this, and we're going undefeated, basically. Um, when you and I know half the teams be mediocre and bad. So anyway, um, I when I did watch it, or when I do watch it, I watch it for the entertainment. Steve Spurrier was always very entertaining, and y'all know my thoughts and my respect and the way I feel about Steve Spurrier. Um, but most of the time, it's 15 minutes of rambling that I choose to take that time to maybe clip my fingernails or something like that. Anyway, um, this year, Lane, somewhat interesting. He's always going to be interesting. He sort of was dialed back a little bit. Summerall from Florida, couple good moments there with him. Thought that I like his attitude. Um, I think that's something that's been missing from Florida for a little bit. Is sort of a edge. Um, but the most entertaining guy to me was Pete Golding. Okay, and Pete is one of those guys who is going to be straight up. He's not going to cut any corners. You may like what he says. You may not like what he says. He's going to say it. He's going to say what he feels. Okay. He's asked about the tampering charges going on. And, without, you know, going into a lot of things about it, Pete basically looked at the guy and said, you know what? It's going on. It's going on everywhere. And he's right about that. He's not the only one doing it. He just did it with the wrong team and got called out for it. But he basically said, look, I'm trying to win football games and you're not going to punish me. So why do I care? I'm going to keep doing what I got to do. And to have a coach come out and say it because we today, this day in college football, we've got so many coaches that are hiding behind this. We just went through it with Texas Tech, hiding behind the morality part of Brendan Sorsby as a student. We're not going to turn our back on a student. So we think the best thing for him is to play football despite his gambling addiction. Um, you know, the rest of the Big 12 commissioners, ADs, pretty much everybody around the country, excuse me, said, well, it's fine if you don't want to turn your back, you got to help him, but, you know, help him off the field. He doesn't need to be playing. Guys addicted to gambling. Okay, bet on his own team. Coaches are hiding behind all this. Well, Pete's not going to do that. Pete's going to come out and say, look, yeah, I mean, this is the college football world we live in now. So what? Get used to it. If y'all aren't doing it, I don't know why you're not doing it. And I thought that was refreshing. I thought it was good. I thought it was straight up. It is the truth. It's the truth. Okay? Nobody wants to hear the truth anymore. So that was very entertaining. For the most part, I don't pay a lot of attention to it, but I did get that sound bite, and good luck, Pete. Now, did want to get into the recruitment of the kid from Chattanooga that I'll refer to as DGG. That's a I'm not a big three name guy, so went on for a while. It was Ohio State and Tennessee. Okay, now when's the last time that happened? when's the last time Tennessee and Ohio State were banging on each other for a player? I don't I don't remember that being the case. But again, it's a different world now. Anyway, I've seen a lot of rejoicing from Tennessee. I've seen a lot of sour grapes from Ohio State. Um, you guys know the way my feelings have turned towards the Big Ten over the last couple of years. Um, but what I hear is Ohio State fans say, well, we weren't going to pay that. Okay. We weren't going to pay that. So we stopped. We're above it. You know, these schools that say, oh, for 100 years, so and so paid players, but we never paid players. That's what Ohio State is. They're one of those schools who we never had to pay players. Okay. Anyway, um, so they're taking this road that, and let me say this: I don't hide behind the fact that I'm an Alabama fan. Okay, I have nothing for the University of Tennessee. I could care less if they win another ball game ever. Okay, this has got nothing to do with that. This has got something to do with the current state of college football. So anyway, Ohio State says, "Oh, we weren't going to pay what Tennessee was going to pay." Guys, you are the poster boy for high NIL payrolls. Okay, you may be getting some competition from Lane Kiffin, maybe Dan Lanning, but you're the poster boy for high payrolls. Okay, you would have paid whatever. Okay, here was the deal. This is a kid grew up in Chattanooga. Big fan of Tennessee all his life. Nothing wrong with that. All the kids in Tennessee are big fans of Tennessee, usually. So he wanted to go to Tennessee. So Ohio State, here's what happened. You got played. You got used. Okay? One of the best paying NIL programs in the country happened to be in on a kid who wanted to go to Tennessee. Okay? So what DGG does is he's like, okay, I'll take this amount of money from Tennessee. But I know Ohio State's going to keep raising it. And I'm going to play this until Tennessee gets it to where I want it to be. Okay, Ohio State could have went way further than they did, but he was going to be okay with this amount. So when he got to this amount, I read this morning. I have no idea if it's true or not, but it's 3 years, $6 million. Nice money for a guy who hasn't played it down. But anyway, um, when it got to right there, he and I'm sure his family said, we're good. This is good enough. I'm going to Tennessee. Ohio State's out of it. But for Ohio State to act like, well, we weren't going to pay that. Yes, you were. You were going to pay whatever it took. Guy just wanted to go to Tennessee, and that's fine. And once he got the man, he didn't do it for free. He made sure he got paid. But that's what happened. You got used. Um, and I feel no pity for you whatsoever. Okay. Um, recruiting today. Here's recruiting today. Okay, recruiting in 2026 and going forward is you don't have to schedule a campus tour, or some of you guys like me from back in the day, you remember hostesses used to walk you around the campus and show you something. You don't need that either. Okay, here's what you need on an official visit. You need a room with a desk, and whoever's the decision maker writes a number on a sheet of paper, slides it across the table. If that number is agreeable, you shake the kid's hand, the kid leaves. The kid didn't care about the facilities. He didn't care about the stadium, didn't care about the weight room, didn't care about where he's going to live, didn't care about the atmosphere around the campus. He don't care about that stuff. Not anymore. It's just the money. Official visits. they're the easiest thing in the world now. Other than the money negotiation part. Um, but congratulations to Tennessee, and we'll see how the rest of this thing between now and December. There's going to be a lot of movement go on, and we're going to. There's going to be some schools that are come in, and they're going to come in on kids that are currently committed, and they're going to up their offers. You're going to see some flips. You're going to see some flips. Not right now, but you're going to see some of these kids. You know, they're going to have a senior year this year, and other schools are going to come in. Other schools are going to raise their price. Some schools may decide to bail out on the kid. Who knows? But it's not where it's going to be come December. Watch when we get to about November what starts happening. A lot of action. Anyway, um, just want to talk about those couple things, and hope everybody has a good Sunday. And we will see you next time.